representing Hamilton County Public Library. Today we have the program Shades of the Arab World, which is hosted by Noureddine Cherif, who is an old colleague of mine from Qatar University. I am currently in the Lifelong Learning Department at the Public Library downtown. And I would like to welcome all of you. Noor has put together a really great panel of activists, artists, and scholars. And I just want to say welcome. And if you don't mind keeping yourselves on mute and putting any questions you have in the chat, and we will be sure to answer those as they come up. All right. So I just want to say welcome and thank you. And Noor, if you want to take the reins here.
Okay, thank you, Brooke. Thank you again for this invitation, and thank you for making this happen. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today during this beautiful. I hear that in so many parts of the world, the weather is really beautiful. So thank you for joining us in this event. Thank you for having people from all over the world. We have people joining us from Qatar. We have people joining us from the US, from Canada, from Lebanon, from Tunis, from Algeria, from Morocco. So this is great. This is a great opportunity to celebrate life, to celebrate color, to celebrate diversity, and to celebrate, like coexistence. The purpose of this event is to show that a facade of the Arab world that people are not familiar with, to show that we in the Arab world, we come from different cultural and religious, backgrounds, ethnic backgrounds, that we are all different, that we are all unique, that we all coexist in a very, very unique and peaceful way. I'll go and show you like the different civilizations and different cultures that pass through that region. I will show you that we are not the image that you see in the media, that we are all humans that come in different shapes, different orientation, different colors, different, priorities in life. I will show you how our culture is rich, how our culture is fun, how our culture is full of life and colors. So this is a map of the Arab world. So where I will be taking you today, I'll be taking you to Morocco, and from Morocco we have Dr. Mounia Mnouer, and thank you, Mounia, for joining us. I'll take you to Algeria, and from Algeria we have Kahina Bougarn, who is an artist and a jewelry maker, and from Tunis we have artist Rochdi Belgasmi, and we have artist Chems Mechri, and myself. And from Lebanon, we have Nassif, who is an activist and a filmmaker. So this is Lebanon. So I will show you some pictures from Lebanon. This is a temple at the Heliopolis, Lebanon, and this is the cityscape of Tripoli, one of the largest, if not the largest city in northern Lebanon. And then we have, this is Lebanon by night, and this is a picture that is not usually shown in the media, how the mosque and the church are coexisting together peacefully. And I really loved this picture, and these are pictures taken from friends of mine, and some of them are taken from the internet, but the majorities are taken directly from, my friends' portfolios. One of them is Majid Ashmawi, a photographer from Egypt. So this is a drone shot of Martyr Square showing the St. George Church, which is this one. And then we have the mosque, which is, let me get the punching paint. So this is the mosque here, and this is the church here, coexisting in the exact same square. So this is downtown Beirut. And the next picture is the Temple of Bacchus at the Baalbek, a World Heritage Site, is one of the best preserved and grandest Roman temple ruins in the world. I have chosen this picture specifically because of the Roman Empire and the Roman effect in the region, and you'll see how this affected the whole region, starting from Morocco to Algeria to Tunis, through the Carthage Empire and through the Roman Empire as well. So I have chosen this picture carefully in order to show you how somehow we are really, really connected. And this is one of the very famous touristic sites in downtown Beirut. It's called Le Rocher in French, so which means the rock. It has a very, cultural and touristic significance in the country. So now we'll start with the video, a video sent directly from Lebanon, from Rawan Nassif, and I'm going to talk briefly about who Rawan is. Rawan Nassif is a Lebanese-Canadian filmmaker and anthropologist addressing subjects such as space, identities, displacement, and memory. She has worked on several documentaries in Lebanon, written a book on the politics of memory and the reconstruction of downtown Beirut, Lebanon, conducted visual research on nomadic traditions in Kazakhstan, and taught anthropological courses in Tajikistan. Her latest short movie is Turtles Are Always Home. I met Rawan personally in Qatar. She was my neighbor. She was our neighbor. She was my neighbor and Brooke's neighbor as well. She is a very, very unique lady. And I really wanted her to be here. And she really wanted to be here. And you'll hear in the video why she could not make it. So I'll let you enjoy this video, and then I'll give you some time to answer questions. Right after Lebanon, I'll take you back to Morocco. And this is when Dr. Mounia Mnouer will start talking. So stay with us. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rawan Nassif. I'm a filmmaker and an anthropologist from Lebanon, and I'm currently based in Lebanon. First, I want to thank a lot Noor and Brooke for thinking of me and for inviting me. I'm really excited to be talking to you, and I was double excited when I saw the profile of the other participants. So shout out. And I see a lot of artists, feminist scholars, and especially from Tunisia and Lebanon and Tunisia, we kind of have a bit of a love story. So I was really looking forward to be with you. And I'm sorry that I'm not with you tonight. It will be a bit part of what I will be speaking about my culture. And I'm not with you tonight because it's my time. It will be 9 p.m. Saturday night on Easter night, and I belong to the Greek Orthodox faith in Lebanon. I'm actually a non-believer, but I do go to church on Easter, and I'm taking today a bunch of my Muslim friends to go to church on Easter. And it's funny because Easter for us is completely different. It's beautiful prayers at church, it's a gathering. And the most important thing for me is there is a light that comes from Jerusalem. So there is a miracle, you can believe in it or not, that in the Nativity Church in Jerusalem, the candles light up by themselves. And there is a priest from each country that gets that candle. So basically the light comes on a plane from Jerusalem to Amman in Jordan, and then from Amman to Beirut. And in Beirut, it's given to a specific church in downtown, and then it gets moved everywhere else in the country. And that is the specific event that really touches me the most. It's receiving the light. And so people gather at 9 p.m. in plazas waiting for the light to come. Everybody light their candles and they take them home, or they go to church. And for me, it's very important, because one, I'm receiving something from Palestine and free Palestine. And second, I feel there is a bit like of a double colonization, actually, of Greek Orthodox and Palestine. Of them, being occupied by Israel, but also our church is now occupied by the Greek church. And along with that comes many politics that I'm not going to go into it. So it's a bit of a miracle and a hassle that every year they're still able to do that. And a bit in support of that I go and I receive the light. And then on another note, many of us now feel in Lebanon that there is so little time to party or to celebrate that we're jumping on any occasion to celebrate, and hence why in the middle of Ramadan I'm taking around 7 Muslim friends with me to church today just to see the celebration. So then what's unique about my culture? First, let me start by saying that I do not really believe in nationalistic cultures. I'm not a nationalist anyway. And I feel, for example, tobacco growers in Lebanon have more in common with tobacco growers in Syria than they would have with me, who is living in Beirut. And I feel that many nationalistic cultures have been a new invention, a new political invention, to create tensions, to create borders, and to sell identities. So Amin Malouf, a Lebanese author, once wrote a book that I really like called, I'm translating here, The Killer Identities. And basically he's saying that, especially us in Lebanon, each one of us is holding so many identities, be it a religious identity or an ethnic identity or a political identity. And each one of us is a mix of all of these identities. But the moment we're singling one identity, let's say we are Phoenicians and not Arab, we are Christians and not Lebanese, that's where we can have frictions, and that's where we stop to cease to be able to cohabitate. And actually, we cease to see the richness of all that we are and all of the cultures that we have within us. But if I'm trying to find something that I think is very much Lebanese, I can come up with three things. One, it's diversity. It sounds very much cliche, but really it does make a whole difference. That Lebanon has 19 religions, and you feel it. You feel it in the fact that there is a huge religious freedom, that there is celebrations every day, different celebrations, and that we're so much used to live with the other. We're so much used to live with somebody that has a complete worldview. And that is different than multiculturalism. I'm Canadian and I lived in Canada. And I find in Canada, if it's a person from an Indian background or a Chinese background, or I don't know, a Scottish background, the day-to-day life really is much more similar. They might all have a Tim Horton and go to work and kind of believe in the same system and values. And in Lebanon, we're truly living amongst people who imagine a drastic world of difference. And that I saw a bit in the US, actually, when I went to Salt Lake City in Utah. I felt like I completely got it. I was like, yes, I'm so used to live next to people who live completely differently than I do, and who view the world very, very differently, and who want a different world for their kids, and they have the space and the freedom to do it. And Lebanon has that. Lebanon has that within its ethnicities and its religious groups, and even its linguistic groups. There is pockets that only speak Armenians, pockets that speak Arabic, pockets that speak Syriac, Francophone pockets, and other than the 19 different religious groups. A second point I find is adaptability. We really truly have a history of huge changes. Now, for example, we had a revolution that failed. I'm an activist, and I was taking part of the revolution, and I was like a very active member in it. Then a huge explosion. The government took all of our money, and now we're in a complete economic crisis. And that we lived 20 years ago. And the capacity for people to change again everything from we don't have electricity now, for example. I'm speaking to you on a battery. I need to organize my day to know when I'm charging my laptops and all of that. And the fastness where everybody is adapting to any new reality is something that I love and loathe at the same time. It's something that pisses us off sometimes as Lebanese, to be always called resilient. We don't want resiliency. We really want a system that functions. But when I zoom out a bit and look at it, there is something insane in the adaptability of Lebanese, be it in Lebanon or abroad, at learning languages and starting new businesses, starting from zero, and really appreciating the moments of joy. We're a very happy country, and it's a bit like today. Elections are on the 15th of March. What month are we? April, May. And And we really don't know what will happen. Many people are expecting it to be explosive. And in Lebanon, when we say explosive, we actually mean it. And a bit that's why we're all going for Easter to party, because you literally do not know what will happen next. You do not know if next year there will actually even be an Easter, people will be in this country or not. I don't know if I will be here next year, actually. I feel many of us live 1 month per month or like 6 months ahead of time, of always deciding, do I stay, do I go, do I change work, what do I do? So regarding my work, I have a bit of an eclectic work because I work in anthropology and in filmmaking, and I traveled a lot, so it's a bit difficult sometimes to look back and realize what are the big lines that follow in my work. But one thing is, especially in my anthropological work, is that I work a lot with Indigenous people. And my concept of indigeneity is a bit bigger than just being indigenous in North America. It's like, for example, when I was working in Qatar, the Bedouins in Qatar are indigenous to the land. Now I'm working on a movie in Lebanon on the neighborhood that I'm in, and the original stories of the neighborhood before it changed. And basically, what happened is that I do not really believe in progress as a concept. I believe in changes. I believe in the fact that technology is helping us move forward, but I do not see progress as a line where civilization has to completely change where it was at to something else. I see the world more as a cyclical experience, and with the challenges of each phase that we're in it. And so a lot of my work is actually to try to preserve, conserve, and hold a bit that fascination with progress, while thinking that always the new iPhone or a new system will be better than the old. That doesn't mean that the old is good. The old always needs fixing, but it's how to find the space to take a breath, to appreciate an old music, to look at a building before it's being destroyed. So it's a bit of a scavenger kind of work. And I focus a lot on the relationship to space and relationship to homes. And last, I don't know if I should call it regarding my activist work. It's more what is taking the most out of my time. Is that in these 3 years, we Lebanese, I think, understood how much we are self-governing our own selves. And during the revolution, it was a full year of organizing, meeting, understanding economy, understanding laws, understanding reforms, what forms of reforms are we asking for. And then after the explosion, many of us, and really a humongous number actually, gave approximately a full year to rebuild the city. And by rebuilding, I mean going to the nitty-gritty details of finding aluminium, finding wood, finding volunteers who will come and sweep. And so it's very fast. We really understand how to make communities. And now the last year was actually the saddest. And it's the full-on inflation. And we're talking an inflation of 20 times. So if something was $1, now it's $20. And in that we had shortages of everything, and we still do, of oil, of gas, of medicament, of food, of everything. And our work was to actually make systems to be able to get medicine to the country, make databases. Anybody who's coming to Lebanon will bring a suitcase with them. We will have names of people who need certain medicine. If they cannot have the money, another list of other people who might pay for the money, linking with Lebanese abroad who will be also helping with resources. And the last chapter is gearing up for the elections. And I feel a lot of this work just explained a bit to us that we're truly living in a place of pseudo-anarchy and pseudo-self-government, because even basic things from water to electricity to schools, people are taking it into their own hands, and now there are new initiatives for everything, for recycling, for homeschooling, for protecting neighborhoods after dark, for finding new ways to generate electricity, for finding sustainable ways to produce food. And of course, until now, nothing is sustainable. And every time I think, do I want to live outside of Lebanon? Because I'm Canadian, I can leave. The answer always comes that no, it's not every day that I'm able to really witness how a society can change itself and rethink itself, and honestly exhaust itself also. It's completely unfair what's happening right now. Last, regarding stereotypes, well, it's a difficult question because I wouldn't know stereotype against whom that we're thinking of. If it's stereotypes against Arabs or Middle East, one of the hilarious things for me is the concept of Middle East anyway. It's like middle of what, east of whom, and how large is the Middle East? I mean, when it's an issue in the US, suddenly Pakistan is in the Middle East. And if you think and if you stop and think about it, the Middle East, the way it's being portrayed in the news in the US, goes from Morocco to like Central Asia. That's all of North Africa and West Asia up to Central Asia. This is huge. So the Middle East is huge, is humongous, is very diverse. We are not alike. We don't know each other. We're not all Muslim. And we have also very different climates and ethnicities. The other big point about the Middle East, and I was very happy to see amongst the speakers, indigenous people, is that the Middle East is not just Arab, and it's not just Arab, and also I feel as Arabs really need to discuss more our own colonial history and our own history of slavery, and the way actually the Arabic language propagated, and how many Arab cultures are just oppressing other cultures living amongst them, be it Kurdish or Amazigh or Syriac or Coptic or minorities. The second stereotype that I hate is when they say that the Middle East is very complicated. Well, it's not. It's as complicated as Europe. If I'm traveling in Europe, every few meters there is another person with another culture and another language. It's just diverse. It's not complicated. And when it comes to discussing the political climate, for me, it's also not complicated at all. It's oppression. It's theft of land. And it's killing innocent people, and it's a market of arms. I feel like many people of us living in the Middle East are just trials to the new guns and bombs that are being produced in France or the US or Russia or Israel, and Other than that, if we're talking internally between Arabs, I think Lebanese have a stereotype between Arabs of kind of being more funny, easygoing, and religiously open. And I think that are kind of true, actually. It's a stereotype that makes us laugh, and but it in comparison to other Arab countries, and I traveled to many Arab countries, it is a bit true that there is much more freedom in Lebanon. And by freedom, that doesn't mean that we have more rights. Tunisia has much more rights than us in Lebanon. Women in Tunisia have way more rights than Lebanese women. But we have way more freedom to say what we think of. That doesn't mean that something will happen. And that comes a bit from a political history where we never really had one dictator to fight. We have a gang of mafia of dictators, and but there wasn't one way of doing things. So hopefully you have a very good evening. Goodbye.
Thank you. I hope that she was here. So to thank her in person for this beautiful talk and for this beautiful insight. That was really inspiring. And I hope that you enjoyed this as well. So as she talked about the indigenous cultures and we talked about the Amazigh. So this brings us to our next speaker, a speaker that is really, really dear to my heart. Dr. Mounia Mnouer. I've met Dr. Mounia Mnouer. We studied together in Northern Arizona University back in 2011, and we've been friends since. And Dr. Mounia Mnouer is an Amazigh Indigenous educator, scholar from Morocco, and a lecturer at Princeton University in the Department of Near Eastern Studies. She holds a PhD in curriculum and instruction, and her research includes critical narrative pertaining to Amazigh identities in Morocco. This includes the diaspora engaging in social equity in international education, as well as employing the colonial framework to incorporate indigenous voices in Arabic language content and pedagogy. So I will start with some pictures from Morocco. So to show the unique country and the beauty of the country and the beauty of the culture and the beauty of the civilizations that have been through Morocco. And then Mounia, the mic will be yours. Thank you, Mounia. Thank you, everyone. And let's start with this presentation. Okay, so this is some of the outline, the historical outline. I'm not going to go into detail, but I want to show the huge number of civilization and the huge number of people that have been through Morocco. So starting from 2000 BC, the first Amazigh king, 1000 BC, the Phoenicians arrived, the 500 BC, Jewish exile, 100 BC, the Roman Empire, 400 from the Romans to the Byzantines, and then 600 Islam, Umayyads and the Abbasids, الدولة الأموية والدولة العباسية, and then the Idrisides, الدولة الإدريسية, and then the Almoravids, the الدولة المرادية, and then 1147 Almohadis. So in here, what I wanted to show you guys, I wanted to show you how this Morocco gained its unique culture, its diversity, and the richness of its own culture. So in here, what will I'll keep going, and then we have the Marinids, they have the Wattasids, we have the Saadians, we have the Alawites, and then we have one fun fact about Morocco is that Morocco was the first country to recognize the USA as a nation, and that was in 1777. So some people say that it was the first, and some others say that it was the second. So I'm not sure. This is to be verified. But let's say the first for now, just to impress you guys. So now let's look at some pictures from Morocco. This is Morocco. This is an ancient city in Morocco, North Africa. It's Eid Ben Haddou. And then we have this Qutubiyya mosque in the morning surrounded by a palm tree. This was in Marrakesh. And then this is a panoramic view of, as you can see, we have the Atlas Mountains in the background. And this is the ancient city of Tangier with a seagull. And this is Jam al-Flan, one of the famous markets in the Medina, the old Medina, which is one of the UNESCO sites in Marrakesh as well. And this is the Ali bin Yusuf Madrasa. This is a school basically in Marrakesh. So this is a school that has a very unique architecture, and this is a very old school. Mounia, maybe she will give us more details later about it. This is the blue-colored Medina in Chefchaouen, Morocco, one of the UNESCO sites as well. And now we have finished with our short tour to Morocco, and we'll start with Dr. Mounia Mnouer. Dr. Mounia Mnouer, the ground is yours, and thank you very much again for joining us. Go ahead.
It's such a pleasure to see you. I mean, we've been talking to each other through COVID times, and you are in Canada right now. Last time I saw you, we were both in Northern Arizona trying to finish our master's degree, as we were the only two people from North Africa in that small town. Time flies. I would like to thank you for this initiative and also thank Brooke. Good on Cincinnati Public Library to do events like that. Good on them. I see that we have many people joining us online, so I would like to thank you all for joining us as well. And it's my pleasure to be here. I'm currently in Princeton, New Jersey, and when Noor approached me to be on this panel, and just seeing my esteemed colleagues that were with me on this panel, I said, of course, well, first of all, I can't say no to Noor, and second of all, the amount of diversity that Arabic speaking countries, whether that is in the Middle East, North Africa, or in the diaspora in Europe, Australia, Canada, the United States, we have definitely rich cultures, rich languages, a diversity of religions, spiritualities, and that's the beauty of being in this event, in this group right now, just to see people from all over the world joining us. So I'll just start a little bit and say who I am. So my name is Mounia, and I grew up in a small town in the northwest of Morocco called Meknes. And my family is Amazigh, who are the indigenous people of North Africa that settled there before all of the colonizers that came afterwards. Which you made my job very easy, Noureddine, by putting all of the historical background of Morocco, where Romans were there, the Byzantines were there, the Arabs were there, the Spanish, the French, the Portuguese, which in a sense, a lot of people say, well, that's what gave Morocco its diversity. But let's not also forget that that's also a history of colonization. But as a result of that, diversity happened in Morocco because of this colonial history, as counterintuitive as that may seem. And so I grew up in the city, but both my parents spoke Tamazight language in the house, in our home. And when we were outside, we spoke Arabic in the schools and French as well, since Morocco was colonized by the French between 1912 and 1956. There was a huge history of colonization there. And so French was just something that you hear in not only Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria. It's just a very common language used in administration. And so, however, though, that reconciliation of my ethnic identity as an Amazigh really never happened, at least growing up, with my Moroccan identity. I liked how Rawan, our colleague that was before, which I really very much enjoyed her talk, was talking about this idea of national boundaries and nationalistic boundaries. And I don't like that either, but I was hoping at that time that reconciliation of ethnic identities happened with the national identities. And that's something that a lot of Arabic speaking countries need to yet reconcile with. It's getting better, but we still need more work. So that's how basically I grew up, speaking Arabic outside of the household and speaking French. But then whenever I was home, my mother, my grandmother, the females in my family basically preserved the orality of the indigenous language, which I am very thankful for them that they did that. And you asked about what's unique about my culture. And I would say, for me, the Amazigh has to come first. So I'm definitely an Amazigh, brown, Muslim, heterosexual woman who grew up most of her life in Morocco. My parents are both Amazigh, retired teachers, and I went to a public school in Morocco where I learned both Arabic and French. But then after finishing my bachelor's degree in English linguistics, I went to the United States to pursue my studies in TESOL when I met Mnouer. But I would like, the reason why I'm saying this is to say that it is very common for a lot of Moroccans to go abroad and then come back. There was a lot of mobility, there's a lot of immigration that happens. And so, meaning that my view of Morocco will never be stagnant, will never be constant. It's hybrid, it changes every time. And so, but what I would say, for example, now when I go back to Morocco, we see, because of the war, we see a lot of immigrants from Syria in the country. We also see a lot of sub-Saharan Africans from Mali and Senegal and Morocco, because a lot of these people like to go to Europe, and they come to Morocco and they get stuck in Morocco and they can't go to Europe and they don't want to go back. And so they stay in Morocco. And we have, as a country, we have to yet also reconcile with that idea of racism against sub-Saharan Africans and colorism. But Morocco is, a lot of NGOs are doing a lot of work to make sure that not that they are integrated, that their cultures are valued and respected while they actually could live in Morocco, just a normal life like any Moroccan. So that's another thing that's happening in Morocco, actually, since I left into 2010. So I think what's unique about it, what could be unique, is the making sure that we, first of all, don't reduce Morocco to just an Arab, it's not an Arab country, just like Ron was saying. It's a country that has Sahrawis, indigenous people, Arabs, many people from outside of that also in the West living there. And it makes it a multilingual, multicultural, multi-religious country that all of these people coexist. And I love that about Morocco, even though it still has to reconcile with some colonization and internalized racism and colonization there. But that's something that I enjoy about being from that country. With the exception of the cliche that it has the best couscous in the world. And something that you asked me also about.
I said, what are you trying to promote and to raise awareness about through your work, Mounia?
Yes. So right now I am employed in Princeton University in the Near Eastern Studies program. And when I was interviewing for this job, I asked about North Africa and the visibility of North Africa in a Near Eastern Studies program. And there wasn't anyone that was working on that matter. And so I said that I would like to be able to create a course on Indigenous North Africa and also provide not only language instruction, because I'm teaching.
Sorry, could you say that again?
Wow,
Sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you.
This is my watch also speaking up about this. So, and they said, yes, we would like to have Indigenous perspectives from North Africa. So right now, I'm going to be teaching in the fall for the first time in the Ivy League, right? This course on Indigenous North Africa, which for me is a huge success. And we, through that, what I'm trying to do is raise awareness about the diversity that we have in North Africa, so that it's also not reduced to this one single Arabized narrative. And in doing that, we are celebrating cultures. So when we talk about Arab American Heritage Month, it's not just celebrating Arab cultures, but celebrating the diversities within these Arabized regions as well. So because we can't erase history, history is history, but making sure that these cultures and ethnicities are valued and respected is very important. And I also so raising awareness about the indigeneity of North Africa is a huge thing that I do throughout my research, whether it be in pedagogy, autoethnographies, doing a lot of interviews with the locals to make sure that the students are getting as much hands-on experience or even like knowledge from the people who are doing the work. So that's the type of work that I'm trying to do. And also making sure that we raise awareness about the activism that NGOs do in these places. I'm a part of the La Voix de la Femme Amazigh, which is a non-governmental association that tackles the rights of Indigenous women in Morocco, particularly the women and girls who are in rural areas. So we are trying to make sure that girls and boys are educated in rural areas. And we also are trying to make sure that all the laws of the country are passed in these rural areas, not only in Arabic or French, but are also passed in the indigenous language itself. So a lot of people that couldn't be able to go to school can still understand what their rights are. So that's the type of work that I'm trying to do, and in connecting throughout the Atlantic, doing my job here in a Western context where people are aware of these histories of Indigenous people and respect them, but also making sure to give back to the community as someone who is from that area, and making sure that me being educated gets, and also the skills that I've learned, the privileges that I was given can be then passed on to the new generations of women, of girls, Indigenous girls specifically. And so I think, which puts me into my last question, which is some of the stereotypes that...
Yeah. What are the stereotypes that you think are completely wrong or invalid, Mounia?
We could stay here all day, and I have so many examples from the West and from the non-West, but because I don't want to take up a lot of air from my other colleagues, I'll just talk about one, which is the language spoken in Morocco is called Darija. And so many people from like Arabic speaking countries would say to me, that's not Arabic that you speak. You guys, that's not Arabic. What is that in North Africa? What is this? Is that French or what is it? So I hear that. And every time I hear it, the more it pissed me, the more I start laughing at this stereotype, because it's really silly. The idea that we try to not understand why the language is different is basically laziness. We're not trying to understand why. We're just saying, oh, we're Arab purists. If it's not Arabic that we understand, then it's not what it is. So always I say, in North Africa, Moroccans, a lot of us don't claim to be Arabs. We don't claim to have the best Arabic. We don't want that kind of title, because our language is a mixture of Arabic and Amazigh. So when the Arabs came there into the 7th and 8th century, the Amazigh were living there, right? So with time and colonization at first, and then cohabitation later on, the languages has to converge. So sometimes you see semantics of Arabic, put into a structure that is indigenous, or vice versa. So if anything, that's actually something to be celebrated, because it's a diversity in of itself. And so that's what I will have to say. Yes, Julia says Darija is the spelling I know. Yes, exactly. That's called Darija, which Darija just means the spoken colloquial language by the people. So I always tell people that is not an Arabic, pure Arabic for sure. And it shouldn't be said it's not Arabic. It should be like, wow, you have created this language that has two different varieties. How linguistically diverse and culturally diverse that is. So I would say that's the stereotypes that I get more from my Arab colleagues than any than any others. The other things I would just say, like the cliches we usually get about Morocco, that it's a place for couscous and for witchcraft, where women practice a lot of witchcraft. So that's something I get. And my husband is American, so a lot of people are like, so how did, she's a Moroccan, you know, how did she get you to commit? And so it's always this idea of, you know, women are practicing witchcraft. And so you hear that a lot. And I think for me, I say, if intelligence, confidence, and hard work means witchcraft, then yes, we practice witchcraft. That's how I always like respond as a woman to that stereotype. So I'll stop here, and I will leave the air for my other colleagues to hear their wonderful stories. So thank you.
Thank you, Mounia. Thank you for this beautiful speech. You are inspiring as always, and thank you for sharing with us. You know, that brought to me a lot of memories, especially when it comes to our dialects. You know, being the only people from North Africa, you know, with the Saudi community back in Flagstaff, that was really challenging. So thank you very much for bringing these memories back. So thank you again, and thank you. Now, what we will be doing, we'll be moving to Tunis, to Tunisia, and we'll start with a person that I really, really admire. He's an artist. He's a very known artist in Tunis, and his name is Rochdi Belgasmi. He's a dancer, he's a researcher, and what's unique about Rochdi's work is the fact that he connects us with the past. He connects us with all the stereotypes. He connects us with whatever, you know, people think about dancing. He took out gender from dancing, and he always presented dancing as a form of art, as a way to express himself and express the problems that we have in the society. I really admire Rochdi Belgasmi's work, and he is with us here live from Tunis. And as I said, he's a dancer who specializes in ethnic, cultural, and historical dances from different Tunisian regions and North Africa. He choreographs and creates dance pieces that are featured at international festivals across the world. And I'm glad and I feel privileged to know Rochdi on the personal level and to call him someone that I really know and a friend. And thank you, Rochdi, for joining us. Rochdi, the floor is yours. Hi, Rochdi.
Hi, hello everyone. Thank you for introducing me, Noureddine. It's a pleasure to be with you in this panel. So excuse me for my English. You know, I'm I'm trying to explain English, but you can help me sometimes, Noureddine, if you want.
Of course.
Thank you. So I'm Tunisian dancer and I'm choreographer. I'm contemporary choreographer, but I'm using Tunisian dance, local dance, and some dance of some regions, because we have many dances in Tunisia. We have many dances from many with many histories. So for your first question, it's what is unique in our culture. Our culture, Tunisian culture, it's a mixture of diverse culture, Arab culture, Amazigh culture, and African culture. It's important, this point, African culture. We've had many steps, many dance in Tunisia from African origins. From Amazigh origins and Arabic origins. So it's a plural dance. This is my point of view of Tunisian dance, of our culture, linguistic, gastronomic movement, all the culture, Tunisian culture. It's a mixture of many things. So this is the first question. For the second question, you said, what are you trying to promote? Many things. Also, it's important for me to promote in my society. Firstly, to convey some humanist values and to change the mentalities and to promote an image of a tolerant Tunisia, and create a new cartography of Tunisia through dance. This point is important for me because I'm using the dance to write a new history of Tunisia, and to create a new cartography of Tunisia, because we have 215 dance in Tunisia, and there are localized in many regions in Tunisia. So I'm using dance to create a new cartography of Tunisia. This is what I am doing now. For the the third question, what is the stereotype or cliche that I think it's completely wrong and invalid, that a man doesn't dance. This is this is very important for me. I'm trying through dance to deconstruct the image of the man in Tunisia, deconstruct the masculinity, the virility. You know, it's some taboo in our society, and through dance, I'm trying to deconstruct and attack this this values, this taboo, and it's very hard for me, because I'm usually attacked by society, by conservative peoples, but it's important to change mentality. This is my point of view, and I want to show you some dance, because I'm not really I don't like to speak, but it's important to introduce and to explain some points of my works. So if you want, Noureddine, I will show you some Tunisian dance. One in the north, one in the south, one in the east, and one in the west, and then one in the middle, in the center of Tunisia. So 5 dances if you want. I don't know if you...
Perfect. That would be awesome. Thank you very much. Of course, Rochdi.
Thank you. So I choose for you the first region. It's Jandouba. It's a region. We can find Jandouba in the north.
Northwest.
And the dance in the north, it's a Bedouin dance, because in Tunisia we have 2 style of dance. We have Bedouin dance, and we have the dance of the city. So citadine dance. I don't know if in English we can say citadine like in French, but we have dance of the city and dance of the Bedouin, and we have men dance and women dance, and my dance in the middle. I say, j'appelle ça les fausses frontières. If you can translate.
Borders. These are the
Yes.
borders about.
I'm in this frontier between men and women, Bedouin and citadine dance. So I'm trying to create something new, something different. Okay, so the first dance, it's from Jandouba, and I'm using this belt. It's this wool dance belt. It's using by Tunisian dancers, men or women. It's not important, but I'm using to amplify the movement of the hips. So I need to put it in around my hips. Then I will dance. Okay. It's important to show you how we put this belt.
It's the first time for me as well, you know.
Okay. Yes, it's okay now. So I put the music. So the first one, Jandouba. For the second dance in the sound now, we will go to Gebs.
Gebs, okay. Gebs is the signature sound.
Yes. To the east, to Sousse.
Sousse is one of the very touristic, famous touristic destinations in Tunis. It's on the coast. Go ahead, Rochdi.
Yes. Now to
West.
Sidi Bouzid. Yes, west.
And Sidi Bouzid, this is where the Tunisian Revolution started, okay? Sidi Bouzid is where the Tunisian Revolution started in 2011. Yes, Rochdi.
Yes. And now in the center of Tunisia, Kairouan.
Kairouan is one of the, it has a very important value in the culture of Tunis. And this is one of one of the cities in the Islamic world that is really has a very spiritual and religious value as well. Thank you, Rochdi.
Thank you. Voilà.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you very much for these beautiful performances. Thank you for showing us all the steps. Thank you for sharing like a beautiful part of our culture of Tunisia. Thank you for the music. Thank you for all the effort that you have made for us. It's a privilege and it's an honor for us to have you among us. Thank you, Rochdi. I really appreciate it. And for those who are asking about your videos, Rochdi, could you please tell them about your Instagram, your YouTube channel, or
so my website, if you want, 3w.rochdibelgasmi.com, or Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, Rochdi Belgasmi. It's very simple. Yes.
Thank you again, Rochdi. Thank you for your time.
Thank you
for sharing with us. One of the great fashion designers in Tunis. His name is Shamseddine Mechri. And why I have asked Shamseddine Mechri personally to be with us, because his work represents the variety that we have in our culture. His work represents the richness of the design that we have had for thousands and thousands of years that passed through the region of Morocco, Algeria, and Tunis as well, Tunisia. So his work is very progressive in a way that he revisits all of the design in a very unique way, making them very practical, making them very making them very modern, with keeping the true value of his products and the true Tunisian touch and cultural touch. Thank you, Mechri. Thank you, Shamseddine, for joining us. And Shamseddine Mechri, as I said, he is a designer from Tunis. Let me read his bio very quickly before I let him speak. And his bio on the website is: Shamseddine Mechri is a fashion designer who renews cultural designs into modern, appealing, and comfortable styles without losing their identity and heritage. He's among the first fashion designers in Tunisia to work with recycled materials. Mechri's designs include handmade and embroidered patterns reflecting the numerous cultures and civilizations throughout Tunisia. Shamseddine, the floor is yours, sir.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for inviting me to this panel. So I present myself. I'm sorry for my English, because my English is very poor. Maybe it's much easier for me to speak French, but I will try to speak English. And if you don't understand me, please notice me that I can maybe re-explain what I am trying to say. So Shamseddine Mechri, I'm product designer. I studied in the Higher Institute of Fine Arts of Tunis. And I started with lamps. So when I began working, I began on lighting design. So I make lamps with aluminum sheet, hand perforated aluminum sheet. So it was for me a big challenge, because what I proposed to Tunisian people and even foreign people is a new way of lighting, because it's indirect lighting and it's ambience lighting. And I tried to work on a new material that is aluminum, that is cheap and not expensive, not precious. So people, when I started working on these items, people used copper or brass materials for the lamps. They introduced it in their interior spaces. And it was me a challenge to work on a material that is not expensive, that is not precious, and make the difference by the designs I can make, by the patterns I can work on, and by the aesthetics I can propose. So in the beginning, it was very difficult because people didn't understand the aim of what I did, the meaning of my work. And some years after, they began understanding my philosophy and this new way of thinking that I invite them to adopt with working on non-precious materials and working on upcycled materials, because basically I work on aluminum sheets that I buy in industries and how to say it, prints, les imprimeries, Noor.
Printing rooms, yes.
Printing rooms, like for the newspaper, etc. So it was a new way of thinking, because I tried to work on a material that are not new. In 2000 and 2010, I tried to work on other materials like vegetal fibers and animal fibers. Basically, I travel a lot in Tunisia and in the other countries, and I try usually to discover the way of life and the knowledges people have, and the techniques, the heritage, etc. And I discovered a lot of materials, very different from the materials I was supposed to work on. And so I discovered vegetal fibers and vegetal and animal fibers. And I began working on poofs, bunches, les meubles d'appoint, small furniture with these materials, and accessories too, that are very cheap because the material is not expensive. The time of work is too short because maybe the craftswoman who work with me can make, for example, a necklace in 10 minutes. It's very different from the kind of products they made before I met them, because habitually they worked days and days on products that are not usual, not useful, and very cheap to sell. So the difference is very big, because with less material and less time of work, they can sell much more expensive the products they make. So it's about an idea, it's about a way of thinking, it's about a mythology that is different from the way they worked before me. So every meeting or every experience of co-design or eco-design that I started with these women or these men helped me in understanding and learning much information and much knowledge, and helped them to upgrading and maybe improving their activity and their knowledge. So I began working on accessories, and people around me, friends and family, liked them a lot. So they proposed it to me. They asked me to make different products, other products than lighting or lamps, like this cube that I bring to show you in aluminum sheet. So I started with fashion. It's not I never studied fashion design, so it's completely different for me, and it was difficult, a little bit difficult for me in the beginning, because I'm not fashion designer, but I think on fashion like I think on furniture, or so I think shape and proportions, and not necessary techniques like fashion designers do. So even my way of thinking is different, and my mythology is different. My methodology is different. Yeah, so from Noureddine Tunis is born in 2017, and I work on upcycling materials. So I work on, I design new clothes, very different clothes from what we used to wear in Tunisia, because there's how to say it? Il y a une culture du neuf en Tunisie, c'est-à-dire tous
It's
les jeunes portent
the new design that are appreciated. People do not, associate themselves with the old designs.
Yeah, so young people in Tunisia wear from new brands and fast fashion brands that are very present in Tunisia. So they don't wear upcycled clothes. We don't have this culture in Tunisia, not yet. And it was, là encore, c'était vraiment très difficile. C'est-à-dire, it was very difficult to work on this concept in the beginning, in 2017. So I designed new clothes with old material. So I work basically on old embroideries that I sell, that I buy in Tunisia, in all the regions of Tunisia, because we have a lot of techniques, different techniques of embroidery in Tunisia. So I save these embroideries because people that buy this embroidery, they cut them and they put them on bags, etc. Not precious products. So I buy these embroideries and I repair them. So it's a restoration method. So I restore them. I try to discover the patterns, the old patterns, and to find materials that look like old and original materials. We talk about products, so embroideries that are made maybe 1 century ago, or 70 and 80 years ago. So it's very old embroidery, and it's difficult to find materials that look like original materials. So it's a hard work of sourcing, of repairing, and then I design new clothes with this material. So basically I work on old embroideries, but I mix them with les chutes d'usine, c'est-à-dire old, the small
Factory
material.
Yeah.
Yeah. So les chutes d'usine de confection.
What is is left, from factories specialized in making clothes.
Yeah. The old stocks, les vieux stocks d'invendus, c'est-à-dire dans les échoppes de Tunis et des régions là où les gens vendent des produits des années 80 et des années 70, tu vois.
So old stocks from different shops for the unsold materials or unsold products from the 80s and the 90s. He buys
them. And the new materials, new natural materials that are transformed manually with a lot of people with whom I work in different regions in Tunisia. So it's a mix of techniques, it's a mix of materials, of possibilities, and people begin appreciating the designs I make, and this mix that I propose them to adopt. So it's a new way of wearing. It's not about only a new aesthetics, for example. No, it's much more important for me to talk about upcycling, about ecologic fashion, about being pre-conscious, about the environment and nature and local resources. So yeah, so I wish I present my experience well. So it's about two brands, Ne à Tunis, lighting brand, and Ne Dunia Tunis, upcycled fashion brand.
You did an excellent job, honestly. Thank you very much, Shamsuddin. But I would like you to answer this question for us. What is the stereotype that you think is completely wrong or invalid? That's the first question. And I have a request. If you have any design to share with us, your fashion designs people would like to see. And we have Michelle who's asking, where can we find your designs? Okay,
Yeah,
if you could.
of course.
I can share your
For the,
Instagram page with everyone.
excuse me?
Or I can share the images that we
Ah,
have on your Instagram page now.
yeah, of course.
You
Yeah.
allow me, I can, this is his page. This is the page of Shamsuddin, and these are some of his designs, the designs that he really works on. And I love whatever he does. What he does is really unique and beautiful. So as you can see, these are traditional embroideries revisited, done in a very unique, simple and modern way. And this is something that requires hours and hours of handmade embroidery and very specific techniques. And these are the techniques that he's talking about in the embroideries that appeared or started to disappear. So as you can see, and this is one from his latest fashion show. This was in, I think, in Togo.
Togo.
In Togo.
Yeah,
Togo.
it's an old tapestry,
Mhm.
an old tapestry that I bought in secondhand shop, and I made a collection from this tapestry.
So basically what he got these, materials from thrift stores, and he revisited them in a way to create these beautiful creations, and that's why, I insisted on Shamsuddin to be with us along with Rochdi, because he's one of the iconic and most inspirational, young artists from Tunis. And thank you. Look at these shoes. You see how he revisited them and how he created. Look at the dress or the cape that we have in here. It's a cape. Okay, this is the cape. You can see this was in Paris, right?
It's in Paris, in MAD, the Musée des Arts Décoratifs de Paris,
Okay,
Decorative Art Museum in
Museum of
Paris.
Decorative Arts in Paris.
Yeah, because I won a competition. Her name, its name is Africa 2020, Africa 2020, and it was about representing how could be African design nowadays.
Okay, and honestly, I invited Rochdi Belgasmi to show you that these are the outfits that come from our cultures. These are the colors that represent our cultures, not whatever the media is showing like showing the Western world. As you can see, we are full of life, we are full of cultures, and we are full of openness. And this thanks to people like Rochdi and like Shamsuddin Mechri, who are, for me, great activists, who are people who are fighting to present and to show a very interesting facade that a lot of people in the West do not know. So again, for more pictures, for more designs, this is his page for his designs, his clothing designs, and these are his page. And this is his page for his, like furniture and lamp designs. Please, if you want, you can follow him on his Instagram page. Thank you, Rochdi. Thank you again for this beautiful, beautiful presentation.
Thanks.
And thank you again for sharing with us your experience. And again, what is the stereotype that you'd like us to, you'd like people to forget about, or that you think that is completely wrong or invalid?
There is a lot of stereotypes, because people, when they work on old materials, for example, they think the design will be cheap or will be obsolete. Obsolete? It's possible to say that.
What do you mean?
Obsolete in
Very,
French.
very cheap or obsolete. It
Cheap.
means like something really, up,
Has been,
something that we can get easily.
And there's another false idea in the mindset of people. It's about handmade, and they think handmade product is automatically very expensive. We made a choice that our designs shouldn't be very expensive, to incite people to come and to share with us this new experience we're trying to improve and to try our clothes. So basically, our products are not expensive. It's a way for us. It's a way to encourage people to adopt this new way of this new culture that is upcycled clothes, upcycled fashion.
Thank you again, Mechri. Thank you, Chems. Thank you for this beautiful
Thank you,
presentation. Thank you for sharing with us. You've done and you've been doing an absolutely incredible, amazing job. And I'm personally very proud of you. And thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And our last presenter that we have for today will be from Algeria. And from Algeria, we have Kahina Bougarn. Kahina Bougarn is a young artist. She's a marketing and sales manager in the hotel industry and an entrepreneur. She started her own brand recently in Algeria, and she owns an online shop and an online store called Beka Jewels, featuring a jewelry line of traditional creation which are handmade and embellished with unique designs and precious local stones. And with Kahina, we will finish our panel for today. Okay, Kahina, she says, can I speak in French? Please try to speak in English. And if you get stuck, we'll try to help you here. Okay, Kahina, the floor is yours.
I prefer in French, but I can't speak English very well.
Okay, go ahead.
Ok, alors c'est Kahina, donc je suis de formation marketing. Je suis créatrice de bijoux de la marque Beka Jewels. Donc c'est une marque qui promet des bijoux traditionnels faits main et aussi un mélange entre le traditionnel et le moderne.
Okay.
Donc,
thank you.
Voilà.
Kahina said that her background is in marketing and she has her own brand called the Beka Jewels. And what she's trying to do in the Beka Jewels is to mix whatever traditional is with whatever modern through her designs. Continue.
Donc, ce sont des matières faites principalement à base d'acier inoxydable, de cuivre et de plaqué or. Donc, la marque promet en fait des matières qui sont très résistantes et tenaces, plutôt résistantes à l'eau. Donc, c'est ce qui fait la force de la marque.
Okay, what is unique about this brand is that she's trying to use materials such as leather and materials that are very environmentally friendly and that are resistant to water. So the design or the color or whatever she has in her jewelry does not change by the water, which makes it a great brand in the market. Go ahead.
D'accord, très bien. Voilà, donc en parlant de ma marque, donc c'est une marque qui s'adresse plutôt aux jeunes. Donc, c'est une marque aussi qui est destinée pour tout type, pour plusieurs destinataires, à savoir les hommes, les femmes, les enfants.
Okay, so she's trying to reach an audience mainly made of youth, but no, this is not the case because she has products that are suitable for men, women, and kids from all age groups.
D'accord. Donc aussi, donc pour préserver notre patrimoine algérien, j'incorpore des touches traditionnelles telles que la khamsa par exemple, la khamsa qui est de tout temps un symbole très représentateur. Donc par exemple, ça s'appelle la main de Fatma ou la khamsa, celle que je porte, celle-là en fait.
Okay,
voilà.
She's trying to preserve the cultural heritage of her own country, Algeria, for example, that as we can see here in her own design, she has the hand or the hand of Fatma, as we call, or the khamsa, okay, which is very representative of the Algerian culture. And I'm going to modify a little bit on it, not only Algerian culture, but Moroccan.
Voilà.
Well, go ahead.
Donc, j'essaye par exemple d'apporter une touche traditionnel avec la khamsa, tout en ayant un collier moderne. Donc, c'est ce qui fait la force de Beika, de Jowls, Beika Jowls. Donc, j'essaie d'incorporer aussi des matières très traditionnelles, telles que la perle morjane, la perle d'eau douce, la luisa, qui est très représentatif dans plusieurs régions ici à Alger, qui représente la tenue traditionnelle Naili.
Okay, so
Voilà.
what she's trying to do, she's trying to add a very traditional touch to all of her design. She's trying to incorporate a number of materials that are known in different regions from all over Algeria. And one of those materials are specific pearls. And these pearls are called the marjan, the louisa, the douce, that represents a very specific regional heritage in Algeria. Go ahead.
Voilà. Donc, aussi, donc, au-delà d'un accessoire tendance, un bijou, c'est souvent un emprunt d'une histoire que l'on transporte avec nous, donc au quotidien. C'est pour cela que j'accorde en fait beaucoup d'importance aux matières que je choisis, aux couleurs, mais surtout aux matériaux qui créent un sentiment d'harmonie.
Okay, so an accessory that we wear, represents a lot, tells a lot about who we are. It has our fingerprint. So that's why she's always trying to choose carefully the designs and the material that she's using through the colors and through the material that are being incorporated and used in her designs. Thank you, Kahina. Donc, ma question pour toi maintenant, quels sont les stéréotypes ou les stéréotypes que tu veux vraiment qu'ils doesn't exist anymore, a stereotype that you think is invalid or incorrect regarding the Algerian culture, please?
Ben, je dirais la même chose que le collègue précédent, en fait. Il y a beaucoup de gens qui pensent que l'artisanat algérien est est destiné à une certaine catégorie de personnes, en fait. Que des personnes aisées, que des personnes qui sont bien financièrement. Autrement dit, ce n'est pas la vérité, ce sont des préjugés seulement. Donc voilà, l'artisanat algérien est destiné à toute catégorie de personnes. Donc, notre but, c'est de faire promouvoir, au contraire, c'est de faire promouvoir nos produits et les faire connaître au niveau local et international. Et pour cela, on propose des prix très abordables qui sont accessibles à tous.
Okay, thank you very much. So she said that I would agree with whatever Shamsuddin Mechri has said, that people think that these products, these handmade products are not accessible to everyone. They are designed or, dedicated to a certain societal range or societal status, which is not true. This is only a prejudice. We have very competitive prices and we have very competitive designs that would fit any market locally and internationally. So in here, what we have people who are really interested in your product. C'est pour ça, donc, that's why I'm sorry, I switched to French, I don't know why. So that's why I'm going to share with you her website, her Instagram page, if interested, and you can look at more of her designs. She has beautiful designs, and as I said, Kahina is an example of a young female Arab, North African, Algerian, who represents 90% of how people look like and how people act and how full of life and full of dreams and full of success our women are in that part of the world. So these are her designs, as you can see. Okay, and this is the page. As you can see, they are all handmade. This is the marjan, right? This is the marjan. Right?
S'il te plaît, non, Hadi, c'est une vidéo. C'est la page, la case qui est en blanc, c'est une vidéo.
Voilà, donc this is one of the videos.
Voilà. D'ailleurs, on voit la main de Fatma qui est très...
As we can see the hand of Fatma that is very prominent in all of the designs. Okay.
Voilà, la main de Fatma elle est très à la mode.
And the hand of Fatma is something that is always and will always be in. So what I would like to end my presentation and my talk and our panel today with the pictures from Tunis and Algeria. And then that will be it. And I would be more than happy to answer any question that you might have. So here are pictures from Tunis and pictures from Algeria. So cultural overview. Okay, I will share this with Brooke and she can share all the information. And as Rawan said, that Tunis is one of the leading countries in terms of women's rights. These are some Sidi Bou Said. This is an amphitheater. It's in Al-Jam. It's one of the biggest in the world, and it's a UNESCO heritage as well. It's very similar to the Colosseum in Rome. So this is a view. This is Al-Jam again. These are, Qasr Haddada. This is like the Amazigh or the Numidian, impact in the country. This is Tunis, and this is Numidian. This is in Matmata. This is in the south. This is where Gebes is, where Rochdi, performed from this region, almost. One of his dances. And this is Algeria. You have some Roman.
C'est le مقام شاهد.
This is downtown. Post.
La Grande Poste.
Constantina. And this is a view of Notre-Dame d'Afrique.
L'Afrique, Notre-Dame d'Afrique.
Thank you very much. And as you can see, this is what I wanted to take you, where I wanted to take you through this panel. I hope that you enjoyed the talks and you enjoyed what our wonderful presenters have shared with us. They have shared with us amazing stories, amazing success stories, aside from the Arab world that you might not be familiar with, as you might be familiar with. So thank you all for being with us. Brooke, if you'd like to say anything.
Just thank you for all of our participants. This was amazing. I hope, I just learned a lot. I definitely feel like my perspective has been broadened. I just really, truly appreciate all of you. And I hope that everyone enjoyed the event. I don't know, I know we're over time here, but if there's some last questions that anybody would like to ask, pop it in the chat or jump in. But thank you so much, Noor, and to all of you pulling this together and helping us celebrate Arab American heritage. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Brooke. Thank you, Mounia. Thank you, Rochdi. Thank you, Shamsuddin. Thank you, Kahina. Thank you, Rawan. Thank you, Brooke, for the invitation again. And thank you to every single person who joined us today, and the people who joined us from Qatar, from Lebanon, from Czech Republic, from Morocco, from Tunis, from Kuwait, from Algeria, from the US, from Canada. Thank you all, from Pakistan as well, and we have from Colombia. Thank you so much. Thank you for everyone who joined us, and it was a pleasure that we had, and the pleasure was ours, Mechri, Shamsuddin. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful day.